Most of what you've been told about time and space is a lie. You probably think time ticks at the exact same rate for everyone, everywhere. But what if I told you your head is currently aging slightly faster than your feet? Welcome to the bizarre reality of Einstein's theory of relativity. Over a century ago, Albert Einstein proposed that gravity isn't just a simple magnetic-like pull, it's a physical warping of the very fabric of the universe. Sound like absolute science fiction? It's not. In just a few seconds, I'll show you why your phone's navigation system actually proves Einstein right every single day. Today, we are breaking down 7 undeniable proofs that relativity isn't just a complex theory on a chalkboard. It's the invisible code running our physical world. Proof number 1 starts right in your pocket.
Proof number 1, your smartphone's GPS. The satellites orbiting Earth that power your maps are constantly moving at roughly 14,000 kilometers per hour. According to special relativity, moving fast actually slows down time. But simultaneously, they are far away from Earth's strong gravitational pull, which general relativity dictates speeds time up. The end result? Time on those high-altitude satellites ticks slightly faster, about 38 microseconds a day, than it does for us here on the ground. Doesn't sound like a massive difference, right? But if software engineers didn't explicitly program your phone to correct this relativistic time slip, your GPS location would be off by miles in just a single day. Every time you navigate to a coffee shop, you are actively using Einstein's math. Proof number 2 happens naturally, involving phantom particles raining down from space.
Proof number 3 is sitting in a jewelry box right now. Have you ever wondered why gold is unmistakably yellow, while almost every other metal is a dull silver? It's a direct consequence of Einstein's equations. Inside a gold atom, electrons are orbiting the heavy nucleus at roughly half the speed of light. Because they are moving so incredibly fast, their mass actually increases, which physically shrinks their orbit. This relativistic contraction shifts the specific wavelength of light the electrons are able to absorb. Instead of absorbing ultraviolet light like normal metals, gold absorbs blue light. But here is the fascinating part. If you absorb blue from the visual spectrum, what bounces back into your eyes? A distinct, warm, yellow glow. If special relativity didn't exist, gold would look exactly like a shiny piece of aluminum. Speaking of everyday phenomena, proof number 4 is stuck to your refrigerator.
Proof number 4, magnetism. Every magnet you own is just relativity disguised as a daily occurrence. Imagine a standard copper wire with electricity flowing through it. From the outside, the wire is electrically neutral. But what if you shoot a single charged electron parallel to that wire? From the perspective of that moving electron, the stationary positive protons inside the wire appear to compress together due to a phenomenon called length contraction. What happens when positive charge is packed tightly? The moving electron suddenly sees a dense concentration of positive charge, pulling it directly toward the wire. We call this invisible pull magnetism. But underneath the hood, it's purely the result of Einstein's length contraction. Without relativity, electric motors, power generators, and the magnet holding up your grocery list simply wouldn't work. Ready for proof number 5? It involves old televisions. Proof number 5 was sitting in your living room for decades. If you or your parents ever owned a chunky, box-shaped television, a CRT TV, you were literally watching relativity in action. These older screens worked by firing a continuous beam of electrons at a phosphor-coated screen to create the picture. But here is the catch. Those electrons were traveling at roughly 30% the speed of light. At speeds that extreme, the electrons experience a measurable increase in mass due to special relativity. If engineers hadn't accounted for this sudden weight gain, what exactly would happen? The magnetic coils guiding the beam inside the TV would fail to bend the heavier electrons properly. The result? The beam would miss its target entirely, leaving you with a blurry, unwatchable mess instead of your favorite show.
Let's move from your living room to the center of our solar system. Proof number 6 is the very reason we are alive, the sun. It all comes down to the most famous equation in history, E equals mc squared. Before Einstein, scientists were completely baffled by how the sun could burn for billions of years without running out of standard fuel. Relativity provided the shocking answer. The sun isn't just burning, it is converting its own physical mass directly into pure energy. Deep inside its core, hydrogen atoms are smashing together to form heavier helium atoms under extreme pressure. But if you weigh the resulting helium, you'll discover something mathematically terrifying in just a moment. A tiny fraction of the original mass simply vanishes. That missing mass transforms perfectly into the sunlight that currently warms your skin. Proof number 7 is hiding inside old medical thermometers. Have you ever questioned why mercury is the only metal that is completely liquid at room temperature? It is the exact same relativistic effect that makes gold yellow, but taken to an absolute extreme. Mercury has a massive nucleus, which forces its electrons to orbit at staggering velocities, close to 58% the speed of light. As relativity dictates, this incredible speed dramatically increases their mass. This pulls the outer electron shells inward so tightly that the mercury atoms essentially refuse to share electrons and bond with their neighbors. What happens when atoms of a metal refuse to hold hands? The structure completely collapses into a puddle. Without Einstein's special relativity, mercury would be a solid, rigid block of metal, just like iron or silver.
We often treat relativity as some abstract, distant math problem reserved for astrophysicists staring at black holes, but the truth is much closer to home. From the precise navigation in your phone and the golden color of your jewelry to the very sunlight keeping our planet alive, relativity is the invisible operating system of your daily life. Why does this perspective matter? Because you aren't just living in Einstein's universe. You are actively interacting with it every single time you check an app or stick a magnet to your fridge. It proves that the extraordinary is constantly hiding in the ordinary. What do you think? Does knowing the hidden physics of everyday objects change how you see the world? If you loved this breakdown, hit that like button, share this with a friend, press subscribe, and click the notification bell.